Let me guess. You have a job, your bills are paid, but what if I told you that feeling of stability is a complete illusion? Listen, the numbers are out and they are not good. A January 2025 bank rate survey found that a shocking 59% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. Well, I'm going to fix that for you with one move. And I'm not guessing either. It's your grumpy dad here. And in my 25 years of experience in finance, including managing the money for a billionaire and his family, I've seen exactly what knocks down people financially and what actually keeps them standing up when life hits. And what I'm about to tell you is the very first move you need to make every single time. Look, if you're in your 20s and 30s, you're probably stressed about money. Like you're one surprise away from financial chaos. So let's talk about that stress, because numbers don't lie. According to a 2025 PNC survey, 67% of US workers reported living paycheck to paycheck. That constant low-grade anxiety is the real problem. It's the voice in the back of your head every time your car makes a weird noise, or every time you feel like you have a toothache. It's knowing that you're constantly walking on financial thin ice. And it's not about being bad with money either. It's about the fact that life is unpredictable. And it's because you skipped the first law of financial survival. You need to build a floor before you can build a future. And that floor is called an emergency fund. Not investing, not crypto, not side hustles, not I'll figure it out somehow. And if you get this wrong, the rest of your money plans fall apart. Now, before I get into exactly what you need to know, I need to explain something first. Let's first go over what is not an emergency fund. It is not vacation money, shopping money, investing money, or I'll just use my credit card money. An emergency fund is used only for the unexpected, is designed to keep you out of panic debt, and that means cash. When you face financial stress without a buffer, your brain goes into survival mode. And survival mode convinces you to make stupid financial decisions. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable personally for people in their 20s and 30s. In your 20s and 30s, emergencies don't announce themselves. They show up as normal life. And they're exactly what wipe people out. Emergencies usually look like car repairs, job changes, medical bills, roommate disasters, moving expenses. They're not million-dollar disasters. They're just annoying, unexpected, routine surprises. But here's the trap. Most people at your age think, once I make more, then I'll build an emergency fund. But life doesn't wait for you to get a raise. According to a bank rate survey, nearly 1 in 4 Americans have no emergency savings. Even worse, 1 in 3 Gen Zers have no emergency savings. Look, I've watched six-figure earners melt down over a $900 repair, not because they're broke, but because they have no cash. They had no buffer between them and financial chaos. Now here's where most people immediately sabotage this without realizing it. You may be thinking through all this and say, I don't need an emergency fund, I have a credit card. No, you have an emergency loan at 25% interest. That is not safety. An emergency fund absorbs the hit. A credit card just delays the pain, and then it multiplies it, and then it steals from your future. Let me show you what actually happens in real life. You have a decent job, an apartment, you're making student loan payments. Looks fine on paper, right? You have a couple thousand in your checking account too, which feels like a buffer. It's not. Then your car breaks down. The mechanic delivers the verdict, and the damage comes to $950. That's when the psychological panic begins. That money in your checking account is for rent, which is due next week. So you do what millions of people do. You pull out the credit card with the 25% interest rate. And here's the lie you tell yourself. It's temporary. I'll pay it off next month. Then next week and next month comes, and you pay your rent, and your groceries, insurance, got student loans, and now you have no choice but to only make a minimum payment to your credit card. So the credit card balance stays. Only now, interest starts compounding. Now the anxiety really kicks in. Suddenly every dollar is under a microscope. Work becomes 10 times more stressful because that paycheck is no longer just your income. It's a lifeline to keep you from drowning in interest. You know, 86% of people worry about their personal finances at work. Just knowing that debt is there, growing, creates a constant mental strain. And then 3 months later, that small emergency is still holding you back, quietly stealing from your future paychecks. That was just one bad event that turned into a debt chain reaction. And you didn't do anything wrong. You were just living a normal life without a financial buffer. Normal is the trap. And the crazy part? This entire spiral into debt can be stopped by one very specific number. You may have heard the financial gurus talking about saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. Forget that. That number is too big, it paralyzes people. We're not starting there. Your first and only mission is to save $1,000. That's it. Why $1,000? Because it's a psychological cure for panic. It stops most of life's common emergencies dead in their tracks before they can trigger a crisis. This isn't just about money. It's also about buying back your mental space from the constant what if anxiety. And I don't care how you get there. This $1,000 is non-negotiable. You need $1,000 in a separate emergency account. Now, it's not perfect, it's not permanent, but it is enough to turn most disasters into inconveniences. This isn't about comfort, it's about breaking the cycle of panic debt. Every major financial collapse has taught me the same lesson. Cash beats confidence when the financial chaos shows up. Okay, so now you know the magic number. Now let me tell you where to keep it. Here's a quick technical point because this matters. Your emergency fund should not live in the stock market, in crypto, in an app that takes 4 days to transfer. It belongs in a high yield savings account that's FDIC insured with same day access, and it's quietly earning interest. This money is not here to grow. It is here to protect you. Now that you know where it belongs, here's how you actually build it. This is the setup that actually works. Number 1, open a separate high yield savings account. And when I say separate, I mean this money cannot be in your everyday checking account. If it's mixed in with your bill money and your coffee money, you're going to spend it. It's just human nature. So open a separate high yield savings account at a completely different bank than your regular one. This makes it just inconvenient enough that you won't raid it for an impulse buy. You are building a wall around your emergency money, so it's there when a real emergency strikes. Number 2, name it. Give it a name like Do Not Touch Emergency Fund. Simple. Number 3, automate it. Even if it's just $25, $50, or $100 per paycheck, doesn't matter how small, just automate it. Psychological studies show that automatic systems remove decision fatigue and massively increase your follow-through. So that money needs to be gone before your brain even knows it was there to spend. This takes willpower completely out of the equation. You're no longer deciding to save. You're saving by default and building that psychological buffer automatically. Once you do that, then you can start working on your OOPS fund. Yes, I said OOPS fund. Take a look at what your largest single out-of-pocket cost is, the OOPS costs that you might get stuck with. Things like deductibles for your car insurance or health insurance. Now build toward that number. After that, yes, you eventually build toward 3 months of expenses, then 6 months. But $1,000 comes first, always. And this is the part nobody tells you. When you finally have a real buffer, you'll sleep better. You'll stop checking balances in panic. You'll make cleaner decisions. You'll stop living constant what-if scenarios in your mind. If your money stress is constant, it's probably because you never had financial breathing room. This fund doesn't just change your wealth, it changes your nervous system. And here's another benefit. People treat you differently when you're not desperate. When you don't have a buffer, you have to tolerate bad work schedules, or you have to accept bad loan terms. You can't afford friction in your life. When you do have a buffer, you start saying, no, that doesn't work for me. Or I'll think about it. That's leverage, because when you have cash, you can walk away from a bad deal. Listen, you don't build wealth on fake confidence. You build wealth on stability. Building your $1,000 emergency fund is the single most powerful move you can make to take back control from the chaos. It's a declaration that your mental health won't be dictated to by some random Tuesday disaster. Every dollar you transfer into that account is a vote for your future with less stress and more freedom. Here's the key takeaway. You're not just saving money, you're buying peace of mind. Got it? Good. So now you're building your fund. Now go watch this video to learn about the scams that are built to take it from you, so you don't undo everything you just learned here. I'll see you there.